I can do that. That one I can do.
Welcome everyone. Good morning, good afternoon. No, most of us is good morning, I'm lying. But good morning, everyone. Nice to see you here. Can you believe this is our final session of the cohort? And as you know, we always save the best for last. So I hope you're prepared to follow along and learn about this last session. Like I said, the AV Skill Labs is a 6-part training. We started this in July 10th, and we're ending on the 18th on the eve of the Draw the Line actions. I'm happy to see that we're all here and trying to, bring our best foot forward ahead of the Draw the Line action. So today we'll focus on digital campaigning, and we'll have our awesome colleague Lute, who's our Africa Digital Manager, that will take this work forward and guide you through how you can do digital campaigning for your overall stories. So the samples you submitted last week, but also just for Draw the Line and any other moment you might use in future. So I hope you're ready for this. So before I think we start, I think one last thing I'd like to just set a reminder is we have interpretation support that's available. So please go pick the globe at the bottom of your screen and just select your preferred language so that we can follow along adequately. And this is thank you to Kiki, who's supporting us awesomely with interpretation services. My other colleague, Christian, will be here as well. I think you all know him. I'll give him a chance to introduce himself and then we can pass it over to Lute. Over to you, Christian.
Thank you, Rukia. Good morning, good people. I hope you are all doing excellent today. Christian Canon is my name. I am the Africa Francophone organizer. And yeah, I am here. And yeah, thank you, Ruki. Back to you.
Thanks, Christian. Over to you, Lute. Welcome.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you to my wonderful colleagues. As Rukia mentioned, I'm Lutfia Wanjiro. I am the Africa Digital Campaigns Manager at 350. And we are going to go through an excellent 2 hours with something that I'm really, really passionate about, and that's being online. I am chronically online as a person. You can even ask Rukia, I'm online on TikTok all the time. So social media and digital campaigning is my entire existence. So we'll formally invite you and welcome you to the session. So welcome to our last AV Skill Up today. And today we'll be diving into how to tell our stories through digital campaigning and social media. And I'll also share with you some tools that make our movement more visible, they inspire action, and they will connect local struggles to global solidarity, how I like to put it. And by the end of this session, I'm truly hoping that you live not only with skills, but with a renewed passion for building Africa's climate justice story. So as we get into things, and when some of us defrost was a bit early for others, we're going to play a simple game called This or That, just for us to know who is within the room and also to understand where we stand as a digital community. So using the emojis on your keyboard, I want you to choose, do you prefer Facebook or Twitter? I'll never call it X, so it will be Twitter, Instagram or TikTok, blogs or podcasts. So you can just go in onto your keyboard, in your emoji keyboard, and then put them in the chat. And then my lovely co-host will let me know how the chat is faring. Okay, I can see Facebook, right? Instagram, lovely, like that. There's no one here who's obsessed with TikTok like myself. I'm very much obsessed with TikTok. LinkedIn, nice, Elizabeth. LinkedIn from Rukia as well. Thank you, Daniel, for choosing TikTok. More LinkedIn. Facebook and LinkedIn. I would love to know from one person if they could just come on off mute and tell me why LinkedIn. Let's see, who was the first person who chose LinkedIn? Elizabeth. For a quick second, just tell me why you chose LinkedIn.
Hi everyone, my name is Elizabeth from Nairobi, Kenya. I chose LinkedIn because it's much easier and I'm comfortable with that.
The
Yeah, and
usability is simpler, okay.
yeah, and it's a bit professional other than the others.
Then,
Okay,
so
thank you.
Facebook is not considered professional?
Is it? Yes, but it's a bit tricky to me to use Facebook. I'm fan of LinkedIn.
Lovely. I understand. I get that. We all have
Okay,
well, thank you so much. Our own choices in terms of where we choose to be online, and that's really important. And that also helps me further know how we'll continue with this training. So thank you so much for all those who participated. And please, if you just joined, go ahead and add which social media platform you prefer. Yes, go ahead, Ndela. I see you've raised your hand. Ndela, are you able to unmute yourself?
Oui, bonjour à tous.
Bonjour.
Si l'on utilise LinkedIn, c'est parce que c'est un réseau professionnel dans lequel il y a plus de sérieux, je pense. Parce que Facebook est fréquenté pratiquement par toutes les personnes du monde, en fait. Et pour bien faire passer son message, je pense que sur le plan professionnel, LinkedIn est le meilleur réseau sur lequel on peut compter pour faire passer un message, surtout pour atteindre les acteurs du climat en général, en fait. Merci beaucoup.
Merci, Nella, merci. That's true. On LinkedIn, you're able to meet a more professional level of activists. So yes, I do appreciate that. And thank you for participating in my little game. So now we shall go into the thick of it, of our training today. So why digital campaigning and why is it important for Africa? For most regions in this activity that we do in climate justice, there's no a greater time than it is right now for Africans to showcase their campaigns online. And I like using this title. Our battles are digital, but our wins are global. Social media gives us a platform of billions of people across the world on our very small, tiny device. And by us focusing our efforts in terms of digital campaigning, what does it allow us to do? Now, in Africa, our communities are at the front line of climate crisis. We all know this. We have the expansion of EACOP. We have millions of people who are going without water, without energy. And by us going online with our campaign, we're able to do the following that I've listed right there. We're able to expose injustices in real time. What does in real time meaning? Means we can post as it is happening on the spot. As Total has started drilling in Tanzania, we can post at the very spot. They have started drilling in Mozambique, we can do it at the very spot. As it's happening right now, we can share with our audiences online the atrocities that are taking place. Additionally, we can mobilize communities across borders. Like right now, as we are undergoing the Draw the Line activity within 350 and our partners, you can see we're able to mobilize a lot of people within one notion through digital campaigning, through social media. Many of you here would not have known this training is actually happening if we didn't have put it online. Additionally, we are able to shift narratives. Unfortunately, for years, Africa has always been seen as the victim. We've been seen as the dark continent, how they like to call us. And with us campaigning online, we're able to shift that narrative. We are not a victim, but rather we are a leader in renewable energy solutions. We know how to fix our dependency on fossil fuels. As Africa, we have the guidelines, we have the trend, we know how to do it best. And lastly, we are able to connect online actions with offline, meaning we can be able to join together online and create a mobilization which will support something off ground, bringing on ground. Meaning like right now, as we're doing with DTL, we've come together online, but then our actions are going to be done on the ground. So some examples from 350 where this has worked really, really well is the Stop EACOP campaign and the Repower Africa campaign. And the hashtags that go with the campaign, with hashtag Stop EACOP and hashtag Repower Africa. And that these are just not campaigns and they're just not protests. They're also forms of digital storytelling revolutions, meaning every time you click hashtag Stop EACOP and hashtag Repower Africa, you meet communities, you meet people, you meet action, you meet drive, and you meet information about what this campaign is about online, which is an aspect that we would not have had if everything was just done based in country. So next, I'm going to talk about the anatomy of a digital campaign. A campaign comes into 4 quadrants. They come within 4 sections, as I've shown you right there in the diagram, and that every powerful campaign has 4 pillars. First is storytelling, the why. This is a story, and this story is able for people to connect with human experiences, not just data. When we hear 100,000 people have been displaced in Uganda because of the EACOP, we are able to know now when we do this story, there's a lady called Agnes in Uganda that has suffered this directly. So it's just not a statistical data, but rather there's a name to the data. And that makes it more relatable to people and help and makes them feel the need to actually take action. Because just ask yourself, if you look at a number on a campaign, it doesn't move you as far as knowing that there's a person. If you know a person associated with that issue, it moves you a bit further. Second strategy, the how. This is what we want to change and how. What do we want to change? We want to change the dependency on fossil fuels. How are we going to do it? Shifting to renewable energy. Third, we have the how. How are we going to tell people about this? How will people know what we're doing? Social media, the megaphone or the microphone, showing that on social media we can be able to amplify what we are doing, our how and our story. On any platform that you have, you're choosing LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whichever platform, that becomes your megaphone. And once we look at social media as not just another platform to post, but rather an amplifier, we're able to change our own campaigns more effectively. And the 4th quadrant, actions. What actions do we have here in terms of online campaigning is that we have petitions, we have online protests, we have webinars, we have activism. Everything that we currently do on the ground, we can also showcase it offline. So now to tie it in terms of our Repower Africa campaign, is that the story we have is the need for energy justice. The strategy is community renewables. The social media push is through our hashtags Repower Africa and our petition. And the action that we do is mobilizing across the continent. Like what we did for AV Week this year. That was literally a full-on quadrant of a digital campaign in terms of our Repower Africa drive. I'll pause there for a second in case there's any question or any comment before we do proceed a bit further. I'll have my co-host let me know if there are any questions in the chat box. If there are none, we shall continue. All right. So, as I've mentioned, we've done a lot of campaigns in 350 Africa, but these are the ones that have lived online as much as possible. And these are the photos I quite enjoy. The first one is our Repower Africa campaign. The second one is the Africa VUCA Network campaign. The third one is obviously Stop EACOP. And the fourth is Draw the Line, what we are currently undertaking. So for those who might not be aware of the campaigns, I'll just give you a quick rundown of what they are. Repower Africa is about shifting power to people-led renewable energies. And AV Network, who are hosting us today, is just uniting climate movements across Africa. And then Stop EACOP obviously is blocking the world's longest heated crude oil pipeline that runs from Uganda to Tanzania. And then Draw the Line is Global Days of Action, demanding everything the other three campaigns are about, stopping fossil fuels and shifting to renewable energy. Now, social media that wins. I will tell you right now off the jump is that if your campaign is not on social media, people don't know what you're about. You can do all the press releases you want, you can do all the webinars you want, but your presence on social media is what makes a difference in terms of people knowing what you do and a shift into action. So what makes content work on social media? 3 things. Visuals always beat text. And that's why I really, really love TikTok and Instagram, because they're a visual-based platform. A photo of a community that has been destroyed by by some oil spilling, let's say, is much better than just a clip post describing what happened. People are changed by what they see rather than what they read, unfortunately. And that posts with images and videos will always outperform text only, always. And even if you see right now with what is happening in the world, the photos and the videos that are coming out from any conflict throughout the world is what is moving people rather than think pieces and blog posts that are hundreds and hundreds of words, because people need to see to feel. People beat statistics. What do I mean by this? We need to share stories of real people. We need to see their faces. We need to hear their quotes. We need to have local stories that resonate. All right? Just saying 100,000 people have been affected by something, it does not trump seeing somebody known as Agnes in Uganda going through it. And always with this, there's the risk of somebody's safety. Obviously, we can change their name, we can blur out their faces, but having the story connect with a human being is more important than just having a bunch of numbers on there. And consistency beats virality. People right now, unfortunately, are very obsessed with social media wins and going viral, especially on TikTok and Instagram. I don't understand why. It feels like you're encouraging bringing in more criticism to me. So what I will advise is that don't chase on one-off trends. Don't focus on, oh, how many likes can I get? Focus on how consistent can you be? Can you post about your campaign 3 days in the week? Can you post about your campaign every day? Can you share a story on your Instagram stories every other day? That is what is more important, because that's how you will build the family within your own campaign. Going viral is not important. What is important is the consistency, where you're able to do this on a consistent basis. You're able to inform your audience on a consistent basis, and you're able to share your even wins on a consistent basis, and even your own actions on a consistent basis. So with all that I've told you, you might be wondering, okay, I need tools to make this happen. Tools are expensive, subscription rates are insane. So these are the tools that are currently recommended by myself and 350.org. And that these tools are free and they have free options as well. In terms of creating posters and whatnot, like this slide deck was created on Canva, mind you, and not even the paid Canva version, the free Canva version. And so you can be able to see the level of professionalism you can achieve by simple tools that we might not pay attention to, because you don't need to pay for the entire Adobe suite just to create posters. So in terms of your everyday tools, you have Canva. MailChimp also has a free version. Hotsuite is what you're able to schedule your posts on social media, same as Buffer. And WhatsApp. WhatsApp, especially in Africa, it's king. We're able to mobilize a lot through WhatsApp. Even currently with our Draw the Line actions, we are mobilizing through our WhatsApp channels. And every day, Meta and the WhatsApp team are coming up with ways to make WhatsApp even better. If you've had a chance to look at the 350 Africa official WhatsApp channel, it acts as a supplement for our email blasts to see which performs better. And from the data that I was able to observe is that the WhatsApp channel, we get actions faster. The reactions are faster because one, it's easier. It comes, we are always on our phone and we are always checking WhatsApp, and rarely do you ever check emails. I look at emails as something for important aspects such as bank and work and school. And how do you measure the impact that you're creating? all social media platforms have an insight section, have an analytics section, where you're able to see link clicks, able to see shares, comments, and likes, and you're able to see how far your content is actually going from where you have posted. There's also Google Analytics for those who have a website. You can be able to see how far is my blog post going? How far is my content moving forward? And then we have petition tools. This is one thing that I've come to realize our groups quite enjoy having. Our partners, Avaz and Action Network, have free petition sections. All you have to do is just create an account and they'll host the petition for you. Additionally, you don't need to write this down. After the session, we'll share with you 2 toolkits that we developed that have all this within them. And then we have photography and videography. We are all blessed to have smartphones, thankfully, and that they take generally really good photos. You just need to do a few steps to ensure that your photos are clear, like cleaning the back of your lens before you take any photo, stabilizing with your hand. Most phones have grid to help you put the image straight. And as well as in terms of using audio, if you have wired headphones, like the ones I have here, this audio, this mic part is an amazing mic when you're recording video. It gives you excellent, excellent sound, even when it's really noisy. Having this and putting this next to your speaker's mouth is perfect. You don't need to buy an external microphone. You have it when you buy your phone. Although now phone companies are very mean, they don't even give us chargers. But yeah, if you can get this, you don't even need to get an actual mic. This is perfect for you. And it's so lightweight, it doesn't need to be charged. So you can go to the most secluded areas and still get your video clear as possible. And the thing that I was taught when I was in uni is that we'll forgive bad video, but we won't forgive bad audio. So having this changes your game immensely. Then we have our webinar tools. You all know them: Zoom, Google Meet, Xspace, Facebook, IG Live. The options are endless. And then in terms of resources of how do you do what you need to do, we have them within 350 Africa and the whole global conglomerate. And we also have AV toolkits like the one that I've mentioned we're going to share. We have local partner organization. You can also go to Climate Reality. They have amazing toolkits to help you. And even just Googling and going to other people that you've met, even Greenpeace have amazing toolkits and resources, which are free. You do not have to pay a dime for them. And then you might notice that I have not included AI. AI has changed the game for what we do. We appreciate that a lot. But unfortunately, there's a discourse in terms of AI and the climate effects that it does conduct. So I know we all use AI, but it's not something that we encourage as climate activists. As of right now, until we find an AI company that actually cares about the effects they're conducting on the climate. If you have some time, you should Google AI plus climate effects and see how these AI data hubs are sucking water from the ground of where their data centers are based. So I'll take a pause right there and see if there are any questions before we proceed any further. Do we have any questions, Rukia or Christian?
None at the moment.
All right, thank you so much. So now that I have hopped on about tools, about social media, about the anatomy of a digital campaign, what we all need to remember is, who are we doing this for? We must recognize who our audience is. Whatever you do, if you don't have your audience in mind and framing the information for your audience, it will not stick, it will not land. Not all content is catered for everyone, unfortunately. And that's why audience segmentation is so important. And what is audience segmentation, you might add? It's the psychographics and the demographics of your audience. And so I highly always encourage groups to have a division. And so we're going to watch a slight video twice by Will Smith when he was still a part of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, for those who grew up with the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And we're going to watch that clip at least 3 times. And then we're going to pause and have a discussion on what does that video show us? What do we learn from that video? The video has no audio, so it's just a matter of watching it. It's a few seconds, but I will play it 3 times. Okay. Okay, that was one. We'll play it one more time in case somebody missed. And then for the last time. And then now, I want us to, okay. Okay, so what do we learn from Will Smith in that? And the title being Know Your Audience. Please come off mute and let me know. I'm looking to the side because I can see the chat monitor on my side. Oh, we don't have any volunteers.
Guys are defrosting, as you said.
Okay,
Elizabeth.
I've just
Hi, Elizabeth.
hi. I would like to comment about it.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that gentleman getting inside the car boot.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. The game that is being played there is what I'm trying to think of. So yeah, that is, thank you.
The game that is being played there. I want us to focus on the people on the side, the 2 gentlemen with one and with sunglasses. Is there anybody else who wants to have an attempt?
Hi, can I
Okay.
start?
Hello.
And go ahead. And then Stella.
Mm-hmm.
From the video, you can see Will Smith getting into the boot. I think he's selling. He's trying to sell the car to his friends. And as you can look from their appearance, they have glasses, they have wearing suits. They're giving that vibe of mafias. So they show that you can take that person, put them in the boot, and he will fit good. That's what I understand.
Very good, Anne. Stella?
Yeah, I looking at their reaction, like he was showing them, I don't know if it's the capacity of the boat or so, and it's like I don't know if they were not convinced at first, but when he had to enter the boat, I saw them nodding their head. I don't know if they were is the capacity or the function of the boat. And when he entered inside and closed it, like they were like satisfied with what.
Yeah, they were convinced. That's very good, Stella. Anyone else? You see Benjamin saying the guy shows them how big the boot is, and he gets inside at the end. They're happy. Nice.
Okay, sorry. Good morning. So
Hi,
for me, I
Deborah.
feel so for me, I feel that maybe they wanted to use the boot for something important, to carry something. So they wanted to know how deep it is. So he was trying to to convince them that whatever they want, that the boot can go for them. So that's what I feel.
I like that. I like that. Another discourse option. Is anyone who feeling something different? We're all friends here. Before I start calling names by one, I am a lecturer, so I will call names one by one. I haven't had Audrey's voice today. Audrey, do you have sentiments?
And the fact that you just called me, I have to speak. Um, I, so I didn't really thought a lot about this image, but I was thinking something like No matter who you are communicating to, you should make sure to contextualize how you communicate to the audience. So that's the
Thank you, Audrey. Morris, I haven't heard your voice today.
Thank you. I think he's he, Will Smith is trying to convince them that the car boot is wide enough.
The cupboard is wide enough. Yes, that's very good. All right, Portia. You see, I told you I am a teacher at university, so I do call people one by one because I want us all to speak. Hello, my friend.
Good morning, greetings from Ghana.
Good morning.
I think these people are kidnappers. So for a car that they can just kidnap people and put in. So once he got in, then it met their needs. Thank you.
It met the need. All right. Linda. Linda Sabwa. I'm sure we all have some sort of sentiments. We're all very brilliant people. Linda, are you able to unmute? If not, we can move over to Daniel. Daniel, what do you think about the video? We were doing so well. Okay, Kristen says he's selling that car and the relevance to the customers by actually showing them. Very good. I like that. Okay, just to save on time, you are all very, very correct. And Portia's analysis was a bit clearer in that these two are in the mafia. And we all know what mafia people do. They kidnap, they kill, and the rest. So to convince them to purchase this car, he shows that even myself, a 6'3" black man, can fit in the boot of this car. And this showcases in that once you understand what your audience needs, you're able to provide that content for them. So you see, at the very beginning, they knew they needed a car, but they weren't convinced of the boot capacity. So the audience will want to know about your campaigning in climate action, but unless you provide them the content that they need, it won't resonate. They won't buy it, quite literally. And that's why in the toolkit that will be provided, there'll be a section to teach you about audience segmentation, how to identify your audience and what do your audience members need. We'll not go through that right now because it's also part of the assignment that Rukia had provided. Does anyone have any question until that point? All right, no question. So we'll do another quick game of this or that again with what you have found out. Indulge me once again. Choose using emojis, video post or photo post, Twitter thread or blog article, meme or petition. And you can just comment this in the chat or write them down, whichever you feel is easier for you. With all that you have learned in the past 45 minutes, which has more impact with all the information I have shared? Thank you, Anne. Photo post. Twitter from Benjamin. Thank you. Thank you, Rukia. Photo post, Twitter thread, and meme. Photo post. No one wants to say a petition? You don't feel like a petition would create the impact you need? Thank you, Seppo. All right, who is your audience? Depends on the audience. Thank you. I have wonderful children. Yeah. It all comes down to who is your audience? Who are you trying to target? And that's why I added this game here as an important reminder of you need to segment with your audience. Who is your audience that you're trying to reach out to? I know I'm busy playing mind games with you, but that's the integral part of digital campaigning. Your content is beautiful. What you're doing is amazing. But if you do not know who your audience is, you're speaking into a void, into an empty, empty void. Now, I have taught you quite a bit and I've spoken even longer. So we are going to do a quick group activity rather. We're going to build a mini digital campaign, a small one. And that the challenge is, as a group, in 15 minutes, we have given you one scenario problem, and that you, within your group of about, depending on how Rukia divides with the people we have in class right now, you will read through the scenario, you will create a digital campaign action plan, meaning a suitable hashtag, one key message, a social media platform, or a digital action. Of those, in that 15 minutes, you'll read through the scenario provided, and then you have to assign a note taker and somebody who's going to do an elevator pitch. And what is an elevator pitch means the person speaks for 1 minute to describe their campaign and the deliverables that have been mentioned right there. Do we have any question? So in terms of maybe to break it down for you is that picking a platform, we all know Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, or whatever. An action can be a petition, a webinar, a Twitter storm, and then either or it's up to you as a group. And by doing this together, you'll see how simple but powerful campaign design can be. And also it will help you realize in terms of working with others and also coalition building, as it's something that we really encourage within our climate movement. Do we have any questions, or are we okay to look through the scenario as Rukia works on separating people into groups? So the top part is English, the bottom is in French, and it's a very simple. We will give you about 15 minutes so that we can have time to also break down and discuss in the group presentation. All right. You're currently being assigned to breakout rooms. Oh, Ruki, should we assign them or they'll join?
Yes,
Based on
so just a flag, guys. So please take a screenshot of the scenario that Lou has, but we'll also share it on the chat if we can. There are two rooms. So there's the French-speaking room. Just because of interpretation, we want to be able to move interpretation in one space. So we'll just separate the teams by language. So please just join the group that caters to your language preference for now, and then we'll come back. Keeping note that we have 15 minutes, and the longer we take, we have less time to do it together.
Okay. Some haven't moved. Oh, they're closing in a few seconds anyway.
Most people are here. We can, and we're on.
Okay, great. Thank you. Welcome back, guys. Let's see. We all back? Excellent. So, how was the session? Going through a rapid mini campaign development. Did you volunteer a speaker within the two groups? Let me see in the chat. Okay, I got a thumbs up from Audrey. All right, I see for Francophone, Christian has nominated Audrey to do the elevator pitch. And for English is Elizabeth. So who would like to go first?
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Elizabeth.
Hi, I think my group was for English.
You have 1 minute?
And I have 1 minute.
Yes, to do your elevator pitch. It's only 1 minute.
Okay. This is how we came up with our answers. We've collaborated. Everyone has participated, and this is how we discussed. Okay, number 1, which was a key message. We talked about energy. Every community deserves clean energy, stroke renewable energy. Then number 2, we discussed about collecting videos, photos, and the petition and online protest. For example, social media platform. Number 3, we discussed about the Facebook, Instagram, X Space, and TikTok. And finally, number 4, we came about light for all, power to the people, and SDG number 7. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Elizabeth.
Welcome.
Audrey?
Yeah,
Sir?
thank you. So should I go in French or should I go in English?
Which one are you more comfortable with?
I'm bilingual, so
Just go ahead and do in French so that your team can also be part of it.
okay, no problem. So, nous avons besoin d'accès à l'énergie durable pour tous. L'énergie durable est un droit pour une société juste et équitable. Notre stratégie, ce serait de faire un plaidoyer digital, des capsules vidéo plus messages, et également même des backdrops pour les réseaux sociaux. Nous ciblons principalement Facebook et LinkedIn. Facebook pour une campagne, pour une mobilisation générale et LinkedIn pour une campagne ciblée visant les décideurs, les bailleurs et les activistes. Le hashtag que nous allons utiliser, c'est énergie durable pour ma région.
Sustainable energy for my region. I really like that.
I'm done.
All right. Thank you so much, Audrey. I appreciate it. So now we open the floor for everyone who was within the two groups. What are the key things that we have learned during this exercise? And is this something that you have already done within your campaigns, or was this a first-time experience breaking down a campaign into those different segmentations? Welcome back, Audrey. Go ahead.
Actually, I don't know how to respond, but I have a question first to go ahead, because I have sometimes when I have a plan of action, if you ask me to provide one thing, I will provide one thing. But due to the discussion, we came up with a lot of ideas that are actually going out of the canvas of the exercise that was given. So my question to you is, Should we usually follow what we have as expectation, or should we just adapt ourselves and maybe expand the things that we are planning to do depending on what is on the ground? What do you recommend?
That's a very good question. What I recommend is having 2 documents. You have one with the direct intention that you had, and then you have a second sub-document with other areas of implementation. Meaning, in this second document, if something arises, you have context from your sub-document so that you don't stray too far away from your key message. And we do know campaigns change, things on the ground change. So you have a document that I like to call ground zero, meaning all information about this campaign is within here, but we have our main campaign document with our key messages. So if something does happen, let's say there's now somebody has been arrested, an activist has been arrested, you go back to your ground zero document and use the key messages that have been provided there. So it's actually a very beautiful thing when you're coming up with campaign key messages to have multiple variants for multiple situations that might occur. But then again, you always need to remember you come up with one key major key message. Like the way we have in Repower, our key message is that renewable energy for communities. But within that, we have our ground zero document that we have in terms of ending fossil fuels, in terms of making the energy free and affordable, in terms of government policies. So do you understand what I mean by having 2 documents? And also within the toolkit that I will send out to you, Audrey, it does also explain in detail the exact thing you have asked, because it's something we do go through as campaigners, and that it's not just one thing that we can communicate about, but having a document that's kind of our level ground, like this is what we are about, and then a ground zero document of everything else that can come within this same campaign. I truly hope I've answered your question. I see Irene. You have your hand raised. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Now, I realize that when you're sitting with a group, like what now Audrey just mentioned, everybody has this brilliant idea on what's going on. So what you had mentioned before we left is that you understand your audience. I think that is very critical, that you ground yourself there so that by the time you're putting in your campaign, it is around your audience, you don't get out of it, because there's a lot of emotions around it, which is beautiful. But then again, are you getting out of the way, or are you really targeting spot on to get the campaign relevant?
Thank you, Irene. Thank you. You've been an excellent student. Like, yes, you are grounded to who your audience is. And the beauty about our audience is that our audiences are segmented. We don't have just one description for our audience. So once we have within the toolkit that will be shared, you can be able to segment your audience in different ways and what key message applies to them. And so once you're able to do that, the toolkit will help you in terms of even naming your audience. You can name her Juliet. She's of this age. She's based in this region. Juliet likes to be on TikTok, and Juliet likes Reels. So what message would Juliet appreciate about our digital campaign? Do you understand what I'm saying, and why that toolkit will be really, really important in terms of how you do your own campaigns coming forward? Because that's the same thing we do within 350. We have a major audience worksheet, and then within our regions, like in Africa, we have separated them. Not only in Anglophone and Francophone, we've also done it in terms of countries, regions, and in terms of what do those countries need. And that's why we have organizers spread out throughout, and that's why we have an amazing AV group like yourselves. We use you as a way to understand how do we segment this message. Right. Anybody else who wants to share their sentiments or something extra from the exercise? How is it working with multiple people trying to come up with one key message? I'm sure we had those in the group who are more audible than the rest, who had a lot more to share.
Yeah. Like in my group, everyone had idea. Like everyone had a lot to say, but because of time, I had to present what I have just presented. So we had written so many.
Yeah. Excellent. Go ahead, Audrey.
Um, in our group, it was a little bit more challenging, not because there were many ideas, but because in the beginning people were a little bit shy. And at the end of the day, we actually co-created the ideas so that we share, because people chip in here and there, and at the end of the day, we didn't fight, so it was actually great.
We did fight. That's the most important part. There were no blows thrown. And that's what we do within our climate realm, is that we don't work alone. We work in partnerships, we work as coalitions. And this was actually such a building block that we want to do in terms of future trainings, in terms of building coalitions. You don't need to work alone. You can work with others. So this exercise was kind of like a test in the water of that. You can be multiple people, have the same ideas, and when you come together, you build something even stronger. Okay, go ahead, Bayanda. See, your hand is raised.
In our group, it was the English group. Even though everyone or most people were quite vocal, there was someone who kept on reminding us of time, so that we don't focus a lot of time on one point, but to actually ensure that we finish all the segments, so that when it's time to present, that we have a fully comprehensive presentation. So that person who kept on saying, "Hey guys, time," it was very important. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bayanda. And that also proves within coalition work in that everybody plays an important role. There are those of us who are the noisemakers, who are there to create the campaign. There are those of us who are going to do policy. There are those of us who are going to be the teachers holding the stick. Like you guys, we have to focus on this. And that's why I really want to implement in that. You don't need to do it alone. You don't need to do a campaign alone. And it doesn't even need to just be people within your country. You can co-create a digital campaign between South Africa, Kenya, and Nigeria. You see? And that's why the group had multiple countries to see that you can work effectively together as one. Is there anyone else who wants to share sentiments? I know you have something to say. If you don't want to say it off mic, you can also type it in the chat. Yes, Ndala, go ahead.
Je pense que même si on est en groupe, il est important d'avoir un lead, parce que c'est très important dans une campagne. Élaborer un plan d'action demande d'avoir une personne qui prend le lead afin de pouvoir structurer les choses. Je pense que c'est très important. Merci.
Merci, Ndala. Yes, definitely. And that's why in coalitions as well, we sometimes have people who hold a more seniority position for that, to create leadership, to create structure. So this exercise has worked out really well. Ruki, as you can see, we can now start planning on our coalition trainings, hopefully coming soon with that. So thank you so much, guys, for participating. I hope it was a great experience in that you can be able to work with multiple people, and hopefully this will build a relationship among yourselves, and that you'll be willing to actually now build campaigns together, and that you can all do your own mini Repower Africa between East, South, and West Africa. And if you have the same message within the AV network, you can just come in and say, hey guys, there's this campaign that we want to start doing about renewable energy for this community. Does any other country want to? That's the only way we can create actual impact within our continent. So as we come to a close, in that I want to embed 3 simple truths. Out of all the noise I've made for the past hour or so, this is what, if there's one thing I want you guys to live here with, is this simple truth. You can write this down or you can just listen, but it will also be shared within the follow-up email by Rukia, and that these are things I want you to come back to every single time you're creating content, when you're doing your digital campaigns, when you're telling your story, or when you're launching your campaign. The first one is a saying that my grandfather really loves using, is that closed mouths don't get fed. I'm not sure how that will translate well into French, but in terms of what does this mean? It means that silence never moved a system. Being quiet has never shifted anything. It means your voice is your weapon. Your voice is your tool, it's your superpower. If you don't tell people what's wrong, they won't know. If you don't inform people of what is happening, they won't know. If you don't say what you need as a campaigner, no one will give it to you. If you don't say you need funding, if you don't say you need grants, nobody will provide that to you. In that, I say this to mean is that petition won't sign itself. That policy you want people to know about won't read itself. Closed mouths don't get fed. And in activism, unfortunately, is that we have to stay hungry for justice. You have to speak. You have to speak on Instagram. You have to speak on LinkedIn. You have to speak through your stories. You have to speak through your hashtags, speak through your poems. Never stay quiet about your campaign initiative. The second one is that if it wasn't recorded, it never happened. This was one of the things I learned very early on when I moved to the NGO from the advertising industry, in that this one hits really, really deep, in that we're not just fighting for climate justice. We are fighting to be seen. You can see yourself, like when you scroll through Instagram or TikTok or whatnot, there's so much content being pumped out into the world, and we are fighting for that space. Already people are tired of climate doom. They're tired of hearing how the planet is boiling. They'd rather look at a dance video and forget about their problems. So we're really fighting to be seen, and your work needs to be documented. When you go on the ground to meet the communities, document it. Obviously, ask for their consent, but document it. Even with this documentation, with the photos and the videos, you can use that when applying for grants, submitting your proposals, because we want to see tangible actions. We want to see what you have done or what you are doing. Additionally, the world assumes that we are never doing anything. In climate, we're just a bunch of people who like making noise. So you need to document everything, even if it's just with your phone. Yeah, as I mentioned before, a blurry picture is better than silence. A 10-second voice note or video is better than a community being erased and people not knowing their stories. And what we do collectively, from Dakar, Kampala, Cotonou, Lusaka, everywhere, we are building this amazing climate story archive. All right, so that when we have this with our hashtag, we are building proof, we are building evidence, and people need that evidence to see that whatever is happening in the world is affecting us. Those who are not even emitting the same levels as other countries, we are suffering the most. And with us recording and posting, we are building a living memory of resistance, and that it's not just the newest trend within the NGO world to be within climate, but rather we have been in this movement for years, and we shall be in this movement for years. The third thing is the internet is forever. I hope we all know this. You need to post accordingly. When you start working on a campaign, you're no longer just Audrey. You're now Audrey associated with a certain campaign. You now become the image of the campaign. So this comes to you as both a warning and a gift. The internet remembers everything, every single thing. Even if you do delete it on your profile, it is housed in a data center, and that data center can be accessed. Unfortunately, so it does happen. So you need to remember why you're posting. You need to post for the right reasons. And if you use your current personal accounts to post about your campaign initiatives, unfortunately, you cannot stray from that, because now that has become your portfolio. And that's why I encourage campaigners, organizers to have a separate private Instagram account or Facebook or social media for their own activities, for your family photos, for your vacation, and then have one that is professionally based, where people, when they Google you, that's what comes up. So you don't want, when somebody is Googling you and trying to find out what your campaign initiative is about, they see a video of you dancing in a club on the table holding bottles of Hennessy. That will not come off looking good, unfortunately. That is just what happens. And I'm saying this as somebody who approves grants. We look into your social media platforms. We Google you. We use AI to search for you. That's not something you want them to see. So I highly encourage you to create what we call a Finsta in a different name, even if it's your nickname that your family call you. If you want somewhere else to showcase your personality, have that. But the one that is associated with your official name, keep it that to be your official account for your campaigning. Okay, so Post as if your future you is watching this. And I always tell this when I'm training that imagine you're in front of the biggest career moment of your life and somebody asks you, share with me your Twitter name. Are you comfortable with them searching your name and seeing what is there? Before you post, always think about that. What will my future self be watching? What would they do? Because they are. Because unfortunately, people have lost out on amazing opportunities just because of a video of a wild night out in campus, in university, or they were traveling, and things happen. So I really encourage you to open a second account, open a Finsta. So if you remember nothing else in the past hour and a half of what I've said, is that if all the hashtag and platform tips have just gone through your ear, is that these three things. Closed mouths don't get fed. If it wasn't recorded, it never happened. The internet is forever. Please post accordingly. Please be cautious about what you want to post. And even if you want to post something related to your campaign, please, we are always available as the 350 Africa Digi team. You can ask me, like, hi, Lut, is this appropriate? Is this politically correct? Does this work? I'm always on WhatsApp and I always reply to everyone. Even if you text me in French, I'll use AI to translate it and get back to you, because it's important for how the world sees you. Because they need to see you as somebody who wants to develop change and not somebody, as I mentioned, was dancing at a club table or was doing whatever you were doing in that moment of having fun. So let this be your compass in life. And when you post your next campaign, your next story, your next act of resistance, even now as we're doing Draw the Line, of which I'm sure we're all involved in, across borders, across movements, because our power lives within our stories. Okay? And always remember that you're adding into this pool of our resistance as Africa whenever you post about your campaign. So our last call to action is that every single one of you are a digital storyteller. And you're part of the storytellers who are going to be shaping Africa's just energy future. All right, every tweet, every post, every video, as I mentioned, is a ripple in this wave. The wave becomes a tsunami, and a tsunami cannot no longer be ignored. So as you post, as you go about your campaigns, remember you're not only just doing a campaign about yourself or your community, you're feeding into this pool, you're feeding into this wave, you're feeding into this ocean, which now becomes a tsunami, and we are now a united front in terms of changing Africa's just energy future. So remember, like, our stories aren't just about resisting fossil fuels, they're about creating hope, resilience, people-led power. As Africans, we are very community-based. So whatever you do post online, remember, we are rising together. We're not just doing as one group, we are rising as the entirety of Africa. So with that, I conclude with hashtag We Are Africa VUCA Network, hashtag Stop EACOP, hashtag Repower Africa, and hashtag Draw the Line. Thank you very much. I will now open the floor for any sentiments, any comments, and we shall also give any feedback for the entirety of how many weeks was it, Rukia? I forget. Of impact that we have tried our best to create. Yes, Stella, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, you just the last thing you talked about the internet, and I forget why you were doing your explanation, talking about the personal page and creating another. So I'm not thinking like, okay, what about the group page, like your organization page, like you do most of your posting on the group page, which is like the name of the organization you work with. Then probably you can now repost things on your own personal page, like you share on your personal page.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so does it mean when a search is being done, now the search, is it the group page they
No,
are
they
you
search
saying like,
everybody.
let's say funders, they don't search the group page. Is it like your personal page that is being searched?
So when you're submitting a proposal, is your name in the proposal, not just the group? Because the group has group members, I assume, right? So all those who are involved within this group, Stella, Lutfia, Rukia, they're all searched. Every single person is looked into, as long as you're part of this group or part of this network, or if you associate yourself with this network. So it can be just that you are a supporter of the network. Is that, yeah? That will be looked into. So my main advice is do not post anything scandalous that is associated with your official name, with your government name, the name that's on your birth certificate, the name that your parents call you when they're annoyed, the name that you use in a government building. That name, whatever profile is associated with it, keep it clean, keep it seamless, keep it professional. All right? So I will encourage you, please, for anything that has your official name, try your best to avoid anything scandalous within that.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Any other questions, sentiments? Yes, it's been 6 weeks. It's been since 6 weeks. All right. Any other, do you have feedback for the past 6 weeks that you want to give us as the AV team? Go ahead, Irene.
Thank you so much, team. This has been really enlightening for the last 6 weeks, and I'm sure the kind of training we've got here will put us in a better place to grow Africa, where we're working with local communities in the rural area in a better space. And so with my team, we have even started thinking about what kind of campaign can we bring forth on clean energy. And just your parting shot that we should bring stories which are giving hope. And I think that's what we are going to bring forward in our communities. And we are going to be able to share our stories with the team and even look for people we can collaborate with in the areas where we are for the future. So it's been good learning. Thank you so much. It has made even our programming better, where we are thinking of environmental conservation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Irene. Anybody else wants to share sentiments? Do you feel encouraged? Do you want to now actually take your digital campaigning by storm? Do you want people to know even further about what your organization is about? Do you now have a campaign idea that now you feel like will come into fruition? Please go ahead. Yes, Elizabeth, today is the last day of this training. Please feel free to also put it in the chat. You don't need to come off mute, or if you have any feedback on ways we can improve. We're always trying to improve the trainings we offer as the AV Network and 350 Africa, so that we can build an amazing climate movement. Yes, Rukia.
Yeah, thank you, Lut. I think this session was brilliant and quite enjoyable. It did not feel like an hour and a half. I want to just offer some few insights as we close, but I see Deborah's on stuck. So maybe Deborah, you can go before me and then I'll come after you.
Deborah, if you're talking, you're on mute. Let me unmute you. Oh,
okay.
Have
I
we
guess
lost?
all good. I'll go ahead. So yeah, so this is the last session for the AV Skill Ups Cohort 2. We will send certification for everyone who sent us the project plan. So in case you're still holding on to your project plan, please send this our way. Even if it's incomplete, please send it our way and we will help you, guide you through it and help you fill it up. Once you have sent your information, the next step is you will officially be joining our fundraising community of practice. This is the space where we offer further trainings on how to fundraise for your projects, how to resource mobilize, etc. So that's one thing we'll share. So keep tabs of that via email. And then this session that was done by Lute will be live on YouTube by end of day. So you can watch, rewatch, you can share with your team, you can watch together with your team again, you can recap on it as many times as you'd like. So feel free to do that as well. And then yes, again, if you want to share contacts and you want to connect, there's the AV Skill Labs Cohort 2 WhatsApp channel where all the people who attended this cohort should be in that WhatsApp group where you can share and connect with others there and see how we can continue to support each other's work as we move forward. And yeah, I think that's mostly it from me. Now, Lute, and I'm seeing more hands. I don't know, Muhammad, if you want to go forward. Yeah.
Hello.
Okay. Good morning, everyone.
Thank you very much for today's session.
Muhammad, go ahead, then Deborah next.
Oh,
Yeah.
good morning.
Good
Yeah, thank
morning.
you very much for today's sessions. Yeah, the last time I asked you to send me I missed the last session, so send me the templates for the work plan so that I can complete it and submit it. But the email you sent to me was I can't access the template.
I will send that to you, Mohammed. Thanks.
Hello. Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Deborah?
Okay, good morning, everyone. So I wanted to like chip in based on what Mrs. Lute just said. So throughout this 6 week has been an amazing sections, insight, and understanding. So for me, this is something I really hold dear to my heart because of what is going on in our own country, Nigeria. So it's a fight that I really want to take seriously because when you come here and see what people are going through in some of the rural communities, they go through a lot. So this is something that we've been fighting, and this is something that we'll take very serious. And I'm just so grateful for this training, for giving us some insight and understanding and enlightening us on how to go about it. Because this renewable energy of it something is something that most people just overlook, and they feel that it's not damaging our health, but is eating us slowly inside, but people don't know. So it's a fight that we'll need to start fighting now before it gets out of hand. Because in my country, Nigeria, like I said, was it like 3 weeks back in the class? I said it that if I put hand in my nose now, I bring out charcoal from my nose. So it's even scary. So because of the black suit, the mining they did there is polluting the climate, is affecting us. So, and I and my own foundation, we've been fighting. So, and it's a fight that we'll keep on doing because of some people are suffering. The last meeting we did and the last event we hold. So some people came with some of their livestock from Ogoniland in Nigeria precisely. So most of them, that place, they are trying to like some oil companies are drilling oil and is affecting their land, their live crops, and their water is being polluted. So there's some videos and some things I would have loved to share it here for people to see what people are going through. So it's something, and they are crying, but they are not hearing their cry. So it's something we want to take personal and fight, because me self is affecting everybody, but some of us don't even know. We don't know. We are just playing with it. But I thank God for a platform like this, and I thank God for things like this, that they are opening the eyes even for some of us that are not aware, for we to know that we are legally endangering our health in our own hands. So that's what I like to say. And I've learned so much, and I'm happy I was part of this training, and I'm happy I meet you guys. Thank you so much, and see you guys.
Thank you so much, Deborah. And yes, for all the stories you've just mentioned, I would love to see the videos or whatnot, so you can share them on the Every Skill Up Cohort 2 group that Rukia mentioned. And then with your planning of your campaign, we can obviously set up some time with the organizer for your region, and then we can see how best we can help you. Like, we are here as the AV Network and 350 Africa to help you build your campaigns better, to showcase them better, to help you in any way that we can. As I mentioned, we are one, and our fight is one as an entire continent. So yes, please reach out. You have our email, info@africavoca.org. Send us any email at any one time, and it goes to multiple people. So yeah. Anyone else would like to share sentiment? Yes, in the chat, Rukia has shared a link where you can submit your stories. It's on the africavoca.org page/storytelling. You can see the link in the chat. Please submit them there. We do review them on a weekly basis. Yeah. Okay, nobody else wants to share sentiments before we all say bye-bye? I think they don't want to speak anymore, Rukia.
Great. So then we can end this now and share just gratitude for your time. Thank you for making time for this call. Thank you, Kiki, for supporting the 6 weeks of our trainings. I think it's been quite helpful to see you here and having your support for interpretation. And yeah, let this be the beginning, as Luther said. This is the beginning of amazing work that you guys can do in your communities, and we are here to support you, and everyone here will be here to support each other as well. Thank you all. Much appreciation. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, guys.